All right, what is going on? My name's Matt DeRico, and welcome to this free training on how you can finally build your dream body in as little as 90 days. Just some quick backstory on me. I'm an online fitness coach. I'm based in Boston, Massachusetts, and I actually started my fitness journey out of frustration because of how overweight and unconfident I was. I was always the guy who, wouldn't take his shirt off at the beach or would always wear baggy clothes just so I can appear thinner, right? And once I started to pursue my fitness goals, I went through years of just spinning my wheels, not getting the results I want, and just feeling super stuck. I was spending hours in the gym. I was following all these restrictive diets, was buying all these supplements, and nothing seemed to work. And then finally, after just years of trial and error, I finally cracked the code and figured out how to actually get the lean and muscular physique that I wanted. And I refined that into a very lifestyle friendly process called the Level Up Transformation Process. And I've actually used this exact process with over 70 guys so far to help them achieve their best physique and become the most confident versions of themselves. So, whether you're looking to lose fat, build muscle, get stronger, or maybe you're just looking to be healthier, right? This training will show you exactly how to do that in a way that is sustainable and realistic for your busy schedule so you can actually maintain the results long term. So that being said, get out a pen and paper so you can take some notes and let's get into it. All right. So in this free training, I'm going to go over exactly how to achieve your dream body in as little as 90 days. All it takes is a solid 90 days to see really good noticeable results. And at that point, you should have the habits built. You should have the structure down to then maintain the progress long term. So first things first, right? Who is this training for? So first thing, if you're just a busy guy and you just kind of feel stuck trying to drop stubborn body fat and find just a system you can stick to long term. Number two, if you're trying to get in your best shape, but just don't really want to cut out all the foods you enjoy, you don't really like the whole restrictive approaches, all the strenuous gym routines out there, then this training is for you. Third, if you've just tried it all and you just can't really figure it out, you're not where you want to be and you want that final solution. Four, if you just don't really know what to be doing in the gym, what to eat, don't really know where to start, then this is for you. And then lastly, if you're already pretty experienced, you have solid strength levels, you got a good physique, but you're just kind of hitting plateaus, struggling to get to that next level, then this is for you. So what is the goal of this training? The goal of this training is to teach you how to lose fat consistently and actually keep it off. It's one thing to lose fat, but let's say you go on a diet or some restrictive approach, you lose the fat, and then what happens is you come off the diet. You're not going to be able to keep it off because you haven't changed your habits. Second, to help you pack on lean muscle, not just weight, right? A lot of people can, gain weight and some of that might be muscle, but some of that's also fat. Third is just how to help you gain more confidence and just be more comfortable in your skin, right? When you get in your best shape, you're just going to have that surge of self-confidence and it's just going to translate to other aspects of your life and you're just going to feel a lot better about yourself. Number four is how to get your dream body without doing all these crazy approaches, right? The hours of cardio, the food deprivation, all these crazy approaches you hear out there that are unsustainable. How do you not do those and have an actually sustainable approach to get the physique you're going for? And then lastly, to help you actually see progress on a weekly basis in the mirror, in the gym, and not be hitting plateaus all the time. We want consistent progress each week. So now that we went over the goals, let's go over the common challenges that the majority of people are facing. So the first is just feeling stuck, not really sure what to do in the gym. What you're doing is not really working out and you just don't know what to do because there's just so much information out there and it's hard to know what is legit and what is not. Second, maybe you're just putting in all the work, you're eating right, you're going to the gym and you're just not seeing results from it. And that's when a lot of times people will fall off their routine because they're just not seeing a point in doing it. And that's just really not a place where you want to be. And the third is having bad and good workouts and not really having consistency, right? You might go to the gym one day, you got energy, you're feeling good, you're lifting some heavy weights. And then the next day or, later that week, you go in for the same exercises, the same workout, and you're just not where you were before. Your strength has gone down, don't have the energy you had. And you're like, why is this happening? Right. You might be doing everything right. And it's just frustrating not to have that consistency. So what we want is to be consistently having good workouts so that you can always be trying to improve and get stronger. And then number four is a lot of people struggle to adhere to your target calories, right? Let's say you know how many calories, you know how much protein to be consuming for your goal, but you just can't do it, right? For fat loss, oftentimes people just can't stick to the calories because they go over. And then lastly, if you don't really know how much to eat, maybe you don't know what to eat, right? Maybe you're just looking for more clarity on what actually should I be consuming and what is good nutrition to get me to my goal. What I'm going to show you right now is the transformation process, right? And there's 4 pillars, right? 4 pillars to this process. You really need all of these to see a successful transformation. And this will help you get to your dream body in, like I said, as little as 90 days. And it's also enough to really build all the habits you need to get you to the next level so that after 90 days, you'll still be able to crush it. And within a few months, even a year, you're going to be a completely different person. During this video, you're going to learn the 4 pillars for a successful transformation, what they are, why they're important. You're going to learn why people have unsuccessful transformations, right? What are the things that are screwing people up? You're going to know my exact strategy that's going to get you to your results without hitting plateaus. And then we'll go over some common questions that maybe you are thinking about that's kind of holding you back from getting into the routine that you need to get your results. And before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of this training, I just want to kind of touch on my fitness journey, right? So where did I come from and how did I learn this information, right? So as you can see here, this is kind of where I started out. I was growing up, just always had a lot of body fat on my frame. And as a result, I just kind of lacked a lot of self-confidence, was perceived as just this shy kid. It was frustrating. I remember, going to school, I would always wear baggy clothes to try to look thinner. I would be, sucking in my stomach, right? Really just wasn't comfortable in my own skin. And to be honest, I just didn't really know where to start. Just wasn't really educated about fitness, nutrition, what to be eating, what workouts to do. So for a while, I just didn't really see any good results. And, I played sports and was a relatively active kid, but because my nutrition wasn't on point and I was just overeating calories, it didn't really matter. And then from here, this is where the fun part began. I was just super interested in self-improvement, right? I was binge watching YouTube, trying to learn everything about fitness. I was reading all these books. I was, listening to audiobooks, podcasts, and really just kind of figuring out what worked, what didn't. A lot of trial and error was involved. And once I found a general idea of what I should be doing, I found myself kind of taking it to the extremes. I was doing aggressive diets, super low calories. I was eating all the bland, boring foods. I was in the gym pretty much every day doing, 2-hour workouts, doing tons of cardio, really just trying to give it my all to try and get good results. And as a result, it definitely took a toll on, my social life. I just wasn't really going out as much with friends. Oftentimes I'd stay in because I just didn't want to screw up my macros, right? This was really just an unhealthy approach that this led into, because it got to a point once I started seeing good results and I was losing some weight, I started struggling with binge eating, and not to a crazy extreme, but for example, I would eat, on point Sunday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, I would just, screw up, usually late at night, and just eat, hundreds of calories of just foods that weren't even good. It's just tough to really be trying to do everything you can to see results. And then weekends come around and you just completely screw up your progress. As you can see in the pictures, my physique just didn't really change that much, especially on the left, there's 2018, and then on the right was 2020. So literally 2 years apart. And to be honest, there just wasn't that much of a transformation. So after struggling for years, not getting the results I want, I finally cracked the code to the physique that I wanted. And the thing is, it was so much simpler than I was making it out to be, right? The answer isn't some crazy approach, super restrictive. It's more about just understanding what the important factors are when it comes to a good physique, and then finding an approach that is actually sustainable, that you can enjoy doing long term. Now that I figured this out, fitness is so much more fun. Training, I just love going to the gym and lifting the weights and hitting PRs. Strength is at an all-time high, body fat at an all-time low. And honestly, I just feel great. And once I finally got to this place in 2021, now I'm continuing to apply it and just constantly seeing better results month after month, year after year. So this brings me to where I am today, right? Through the process, through the transformation, I really just developed a passion for fitness. And for me, it wasn't just about getting the physique. It was about the process and the person I became through the process. Because once you build a great physique, you want to improve other aspects of your life, and you can use the confidence you built to do that. So today, it's my passion to help other guys build their best physique and avoid all the problems that I went through, and also to help them cut through a lot of the misinformation and have a streamlined approach that will get them to the result a lot quicker and more enjoyable. So now that I've shown you what I was able to achieve on my own, I want to show you a couple examples of how this process helped other guys with their fitness transformation. So first, we got a client of mine, Cal, and Cal had a great transformation. On the left, when he came to me, he was just kind of struggling to put on size, right? Couldn't really put on much muscle. Lifts were just kind of hitting plateaus, wasn't really having much momentum in the gym. And really, he just wanted to be more confident, get a better physique. Once he kind of went through the process and I showed him what to do, as you can see, he put on a lot more size, actually lost body fat, and really just has an impressive physique. And his strength is much higher. His bench has gone up at least, 50, 60 pounds. He's doing super heavy weighted chin-ups. Shoulder press has gotten up there and just really cool stuff. Second example is another client of mine, Jackson, right? Jackson came from a different situation. He was already a relatively advanced lifter. His strength was very high when he started working with him. And his thing was just, he had a good foundation in the gym, but just couldn't really figure out how to get rid of that body fat. And I'm actually going to show you a quick little video about him talking about his experience.
Months ago. And before then, I was lifting pretty intensely 6 days a week and was on a pretty restricted diet. After my first meeting with Matt, he was telling me that that's too much and that I need to up my calories a little bit more and just be focused on getting stronger and progressive overload and not lifting as many days a week. Once I started doing that, I instantly saw results in the mirror and in the gym with my strength. I started out being able to only do about 6 pull-ups, and those were pretty difficult. He started me on weighted pull-ups. Now I'm doing it with a 70-pound kettlebell. And when I do body weight, I'm easily getting over 20 every time. I can't speak enough on how much Matt has helped me and changed the way I look at the gym, the way I go about it. Before, I would do diets that would kind of burn me out and stuff like that. Now with Matt, I've just been seeing gains after gains. Every week I'm getting stronger. Every week I'm seeing more results, and I think it's the best thing in the world. I think anyone that's in between, if they think a coach would be good for them, give Matt a try, and you're never going to be disappointed. You're going to be very happy that you made this decision and you decided to go with Matt.
Just looking at the pictures, right? This is only 12 weeks, this transformation, right? 12 weeks. He was able to take off all this weight. And honestly, you can just look at his V taper. He's gotten way better. His shoulders looking really full. So huge shout out to my guy, Jackson. Third example is we got Isaac, right? Isaac been crushing it. When he came to me, he was already in pretty good shape. He had the definition. He'd been working out for years. His struggle was just, he couldn't really put on size, right? In strength, he's hitting plateaus in the gym, didn't really have the size he wanted, and really was just kind of looking to get to that next level. So I'll let him talk about his experience as well.
What's up, guys? My name is Isaac. I've been with Matt for about 6 months now. Overall, I've been exercising for about 4 years consistently, but the last year I've been hitting a lot of plateaus. I was lacking in motivation to go to the gym anymore. The lack of just pushing myself harder. With Matt, I cut my workouts down 3 days a week. I started hitting a lot more PRs with Matt coaching me. I hit a PR of 80-pound dumbbells for 8 on Bulgarians, and I'm at 155 body weight, and I was so ecstatic for that because I didn't think that was possible with my body weight. For people who are questioning to join Matt, I would say there's always room to learn. I thought that I could not learn anything beforehand, and I was learning more about nutrition with him. I've learned more about just exercising, about slowing down. You don't have to do 6 days a week. You can do 3 days a week, and you can still make progress like myself. I've been working out for 4 years now, and I think that I've made more progress in these last 6 months than I have in, I would say, the last 2 years combined. So give it a shot. I think it would work well for you guys.
And even just looking at the pictures here, still at a very lean weight, but he just has way more size, especially in the right areas, right? The shoulders, the traps, the upper back, the upper chest, right? Before we get into the actual process itself, just wanted to point out, why is fitness so hard, right? Why is it so hard to get the physique you want? And the answer is because the fitness industry is really trying to confuse you, right? You have the approach with all the yo-yo diets, right? The keto, paleo, XYZ diet, right? There's really 2 main problems with the dieting approach. First one, let's say you actually can stick to it and you get the result, right? What happens? Eventually, you're going to come off the diet. And what's going to happen is when you come off the diet, you're going to rebound back to where you were because you haven't changed your habits. For example, if your diet isn't the best, right? Maybe you got 30 pounds to lose and you go keto for a couple months. Let's say you take the weight off. As soon as you get off keto, you're going to go back to whatever your normal diet was. And that is what caused you to put the weight on in the first place. So it's going to be very hard to actually stick to it because you're not changing your habits, right? That's the first problem. Second is just pretty straightforward, right? A lot of people can't even stick to the diet in the first place. You might stick to it for a couple days and kind of fall off on the weekends. You might stick to it for a couple weeks and then fall off of it, right? But it's very hard to do a restrictive approach unless, you have not a lot going on in your life, right? If you're busy, you're stressed out, with work, it's hard to really stick to these diets. So second is just the whole quick fix pill approach, right? This is huge, especially with supplement companies where people think, oh, I'm going to buy this supplement and I'll just get the result I want. Unfortunately, that's just not the case. There's very few supplements that actually play a key role in results. And even still, supplements are supplementing a good diet and a good training plan, right? Third is just all the myths out there. There's so much misinformation in the fitness industry, right? I'm sure you probably heard, carbs after 8 p.m. is bad, right? You're going to put on fat, or, carbs are bad, right? People will say fat is bad. You're going to hear, high protein. Some people are saying low protein. From the gym side, people are saying, do all this cardio. Some people are saying don't do cardio, right? How many days should you be lifting? Some say lift every day. Some are saying 3 times a week. So it's very hard to understand like what actually is the right approach. And then lastly is the whole, personal trainer scam. Really, it's just the idea that a personal trainer, while, for an hour out of the day when they're training you, they can be very helpful. But once you leave the gym, you lose that accountability. So, 23 hours of the day, you can be stuffing your face with donuts and candy, even though you're having the perfect workout. Like, it's not going to get you the result because you don't have that accountability. And what you kind of need to realize is the supplement stores, local personal trainers, they really have one thing in common, right? They want to keep you coming back for more. So you depend on them, right? Think about it. Supplements, you might think, oh, I'm just going to buy the supplement. It's a one-time thing. Problem is, whether you realize it or not, it's a monthly subscription. Whatever you're paying for the supplement, multiply that times 12, and that's probably what you're paying every year for just one supplement. So it's really just to kind of keep you hooked on a subscription. So you're always coming back for more. Same with the trainers, right? They're not going to really teach you how to do it on your own. They're going to be great, for that training session, but you're only going to see results as long as you keep paying them for their service. So it's not a long-term approach. And that kind of brings me to kind of the direction of this video, where it's a highlight. There's a whole nother side of the fitness industry that, they're really not telling you about, right? This gets me into the point of this video, right? How I can help you out, what my process is, and how you can finally get the results you want. So in order to achieve a great physique, right, you need to first identify exactly where you are, so point A, and exactly where you want to be, so point B, right? You need to be very clear. All right, where am I? What is the end result? And exactly what do I need to achieve to get there, right? What are the exact things I'm looking for? And in this example, right, and this is another client of mine, Joe. Joe had years of experience in the gym. He was playing high school sports, had trainers in the past, and saw some good results, but really just wasn't where he wanted to be, right? He was hitting plateaus, just didn't have the results he was looking for. And once I got him in the transformation protocol, I helped him figure out exactly a roadmap for how to achieve those results. He finally got very consistent. And now, as you can see, he lost a lot of fat, put on a bunch of muscle and strength. And today he's just, a much more confident guy. But essentially the point is understanding the gap and then having an actual evidence-based approach, a process to get you there. So now the part you've been waiting for, right? This is the exact method. And there's 4 different pillars. You got training, you got nutrition, accountability, and education. All right. So how do we approach training? How do you actually optimize your training to get results? And I narrowed it down to 5 things you want to focus on, right? First is just understanding that muscle is built through progressive overload. It doesn't matter, what routine you're on, what split. It's, are you achieving progressive overload with what you're doing? What you need to be doing is you need to be putting enough tension on your muscles consistently so that it signals growth. For example, if you add 30 pounds to your shoulder press, right? That's more tension. Your body is going to adapt to that extra weight, to that extra tension by stimulating growth, right? That's how muscle growth is triggered. And there's a lot of different ways on how you can achieve progressive overload. But for simplicity, the best approach is just strength progression, right? Are you adding reps? Are you adding weight to your lifts over time? And this kind of takes us into the second point, which is all about prioritizing key lifts. So in the past, I was doing crazy long workout, 7, 8, 9, even 10 exercises in a single workout. And what I didn't realize is that's just way too much volume to actually recover from the workouts I was doing, right? What I found is the sweet spot is you want to just narrow your training down to 5 to 6 exercises that are the best, bang for your buck lifts for the muscle groups you're trying to focus on, right? I like to focus a lot on compound exercises, which work multiple muscle groups. For example, incline bench press, going to hit the upper chest, but also your front delt and your triceps, right? So you want to find exercises that aren't just isolation movements, right? You want to do a lot of compound exercises. And then lastly, you really only need 2 or 3 working sets per exercise. A lot of people will do, 4 sets of 12 or, 5 sets, like a 5x5, right? Sometimes, that does have its place, especially for beginners. But from my experience, doing 2 or 3 hard sets where you're training to failure or, relatively close to failure, that is all you need to stimulate growth. And doing more than that is just extra volume that makes it harder for you to recover. Third is now training frequency. And a mistake here is people will think, oh, if I lift 6 times a week, more is more, I'll gain more muscle. The problem with that, they're not taking into account their nervous system, right? Their central nervous system, where essentially your nervous system takes between 24 to 48 hours to fully recharge from strength training. If we're talking like what's the most optimal training frequency, it would be every other day, right? Every 48 hours. If you're looking to maximize progress, I would say lift weights every 48 hours, because that will make it that every time you go to the gym, your nervous system will be fresh. So you're at your best condition to push for personal records and achieving progressive overload. So for myself, I just think it's more practical to do something like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you can have the weekends off, or, sometimes doing like a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday approach is good if you're looking to kind of get a fourth workout in there. But I would not recommend doing over 4 lifting sessions, right? If you're looking to do more workouts than 4, you want to do more of the non-heavier lifting stuff, like, training core, doing mobility, doing cardio, things like that, and leaving the heavy lifting to 3 or 4 days per week. And for nutrition, really, there's 2 main reasons why people will slip up here, right? It's tracking and adherence. So for tracking, essentially, it's people who just don't really know how much to be eating, how many calories, how much food, how much protein, right? And, because of that, they're not getting the results they want. And the second scenario is adherence, which, let's say you do know how much calories, like you have your target, you know what you need to be doing, but you just can't stick to it, right? Either you stick to it for a couple of days and fall off, or you just can't stick to it at all. And you're just struggling to see results as a result of that. So first things first, tracking, right? When it comes to tracking, how much calories, it's all about energy balance. It's physics. Calories in, calories out. For example, let's say, just using generic numbers, let's say you burn 2,500 calories per day, right? Based on your weight, you're burning about 2,500 calories. If you eat less than this, let's say you eat 2,000, what's going to happen is you're going to be in a calorie deficit, which means you're burning more than you're taking in. And as a result, your body's going to tap into its own energy stores and burn body fat. This is how body fat is burned. It's by burning more calories than you're taking in through food, because your body has to figure out, all right, we're in a 500 calorie deficit. How are we going to get this energy? So it takes from its own stored energy, which is body fat. And this is the same with overeating, right? Let's say, you burn 2,500, but you ate 3,000 calories, right? That's a 500 calorie surplus. What's going to happen? Well, your body's going to realize, all right, we have 500 calories that we don't need because we didn't burn this energy. Let's store this for later. So if we're ever in a calorie deficit, we'll have fuel to use, right? So that's why you store body fat. Your body doesn't want you to put on fat, but what it does is it wants you to be equipped. So if you're without food for long enough, you're not going to starve. So it's really just a survival mechanism. Obviously, when you're training and doing right things, some of this surplus will definitely be muscle, but if you're in too much of a surplus, you can put on some body fat as well. So that's kind of how energy balance works. And how you approach tracking, really 2 things. There's 2 methods. Usually I recommend using a calorie tracker app like MyFitnessPal, just to kind of build those habits, get better at tracking things. Just because once you get a better sense of how many calories are in the foods that you enjoy, you can then use that knowledge to just start ballparking your calories going forward, right? I find if you practice tracking your calories for a couple of weeks and you figure out, what meals and foods and, what your meal frequency is that works for you, you can start applying those habits long-term, and then you can lose the app and really just, you'd have more nutritional awareness and you'll be able to hit your calories relatively easy. So that brings us into adherence, which is probably more tricky for most people, right? A lot of people know how many calories they need to be eating, but they just can't stick to it, right? So how I approach this, I like to use the bank analogy. So for example, let's say you're trying to hit 2,000 calories, right? So for fat loss, you want to look at every day as you have 2,000 calories to spend. Doesn't matter when during the day you spend them. Doesn't matter what you spend them on. At the end of the day, if you eat 2,000 calories, you'll lose weight. And if you go over that, you're not going to lose weight as quick. And if you eat above your maintenance, you're not going to lose weight. So essentially you have a budget. Now your goal should be to spend those calories in the most enjoyable way, so you can actually stick to it while also supporting good health and, progress in the gym, right? You want to be making sure you're hitting your calories, but also getting in good nutrition and just supporting overall health and hormones as well. So how I like to approach this is something called flexible dieting, and more specifically, the 80-20 rule, right? I really like the 80-20 rule because it's something you can stick to. It's something I've stick to for years now, because it's really not that difficult. What you want to do, especially if you're a beginner, is you want to try to get 80% of those calories from the good foods, right? The nutrient dense foods, the lean meats, fruits, some vegetables, healthy fats, right? If you get 80% of your calories from those foods, then you can fit in 20% of your calories from the foods that you're probably craving, the quote unquote unhealthier foods, or, desserts, or, even like alcohol, or whatever the source is that, you probably shouldn't be eating it. As long as you're hitting your calories and you're getting in 80% of your diet from good foods, you can fit in those foods, in moderation, and still see good results, right? That is the approach that is very helpful for myself and for clients, and hopefully for you as well, is the idea that you don't always need to be eating super clean, right? And that brings me into the next factor, which is food volume and satiation. Now that I kind of talk about this, you're probably thinking, all right, I have this budget. I can essentially eat what I want as long as I stay in the budget. And that's true. However, what you need to realize is, let's say you have 300 calories left for the day, right? And you're trying to figure out what should you eat to fill those 300 calories. Not all food have the same response in terms of how you feel, how satiating they are. So for example, right, you got 300 calories and you decide either you're going to have some potato or you're going to go and eat 300 calories of ice cream. Either way, if it's 300 calories, you're still going to achieve your fitness goals. However, potato is going to be a lot more filling for 300 calories, right? You're eating the potato and you're going to be relatively full, and you're probably going to be good for the rest of the day. You're going to hit your calories. You're going to feel good. If you have the ice cream, sure, you might, be totally fine, but it's not going to be nearly as filling as the potato. And because it has sugar in it, you're probably going to be having more cravings to eat more ice cream. So that's what you need to consider here. It's, you can fit in whatever you want, but you need to take into consideration what are the most satiating foods that are the biggest bang for your buck with your calorie intake. Because if you're eating 80% super satiating foods, you're not going to be that hungry by the end of the day. I definitely recommend just considering how certain foods make you feel, how satiating they are. And then the last one is just meal frequency. A lot of people will say, you got to be eating 6 small meals and to speed up your metabolism, right? And to be honest, I've tried that approach. I've also tried, the OMAD, like 1 meal a day approach, right? So I've tried a lot of different things. And what I found is it doesn't matter how many meals or how many times per day you eat. What matters is at the end of the day, how many calories you consumed, right? Sometimes I do the 1 meal a day and I gain weight because I ate too many calories in that 1 meal. And sometimes I've done the small meals and I also gained weight because, again, I just ate too many calories in those meals. So meal frequency is really just preference. And for myself, what I find works the best is actually eating less meals. For example, what I'll do is intermittent fasting. So, I'll wake up, I'll have some coffee, we'll consume calories first thing in the morning, and then I'll push that first meal, have a moderate sized lunch. And at that point, I have all these calories left over for dinner. So I can eat, a pretty solid sized dinner and still hit my calories, still have plenty of room to work with, and lose fat too. So, really the way that I look at it is, if you got less calories to use, for me personally, it makes more sense to save those for later. So for example, you're going out to dinner or, drinks or dessert or whatever it is, you want to have the flexibility to have calories to use, because in the past, I would have the small meals, I would eat more, big breakfasts, and the end of the day would come and I would just have no calories left. And it wasn't fun, right? If you're at a restaurant and, your whole family, your friends are eating these big tasty meals and you're like, yeah, I blew all my calories. So it's either you screw up and go over, or you eat some, salad or super lean chicken breast, right? Which is not fun. So if you like small meals, I'd say that's great. But if you're like myself, you prefer to eat bigger meals, I try the fasting, try to cut out a lot of the snacking and really just limit it to, 2 meals, maybe 1 smaller meal at the end of the day, as long as your calories are in check. This is the lifestyle approach. That's what I like to call it. All right. So pillar 3, right? Accountability. This is very overlooked, right? You could have the best training plan. You could have the best nutrition plan, but if you don't have accountability, you're not going to have consistency, right? It's going to be easy to fall off. You're not going to stick to the routine best you can. So when it comes to accountability, a couple options of what I would recommend doing, right? First option, this is the best option. This is what I recommend, is doing some sort of coaching where someone is holding you accountable each week through, check-ins, coaching calls. Maybe you have a workout program where they're helping you adjust the weight and making sure you're seeing progress, right? That's really the best approach, to having some sort of hands-on experience where someone's actually holding you accountable. Other things that are important is tracking metrics. So, if you're not doing coaching, or even if you are, it's good to be keeping track of things like progress pictures, tracking your lifts, taking measurements, tracking your calories, scale weight, right? If you have all this data, it's visual proof on if you're improving or not, right? If you're tracking all the data and it's not improving, then you know that the plan is not working. But if it is improving, then you know the plan is working. So what's going to keep you consistent is seeing visual progress each week, right? That's what you need. Because if you don't see that, you're going to fall off and you're not going to get the result. So third, this is, pretty helpful too, having a workout partner. This can be helpful, especially getting you started, because if you go to the gym with someone that kind of help push you, hold you accountable, you will see some good results. The only problem is eventually you're probably going to switch locations, or, somebody moves or something happens, right? And you don't have the workout partner anymore, right? This happened to me multiple times. And when that happens, it's a lot harder to hold yourself accountable. And the last one is especially today, using social media, either making a account where you track your progress, or maybe you're just posting on your story each week. Maybe you're showing your step count, or, you're posting your progress pictures, PRs in the gym, pictures of your food, right? It doesn't really matter what it is, but social media is a great way to help you stay accountable to your goals, because other people are now going to perceive you as, oh, you have this fitness journey. I'm going to keep track of it. I'm going to, watch you progress. And if you stop posting, if you stop doing what you said you were going to do, then people will start to hold you accountable. So the last pillar is education, right? Really the thing here is just, you always want to be consistently learning through books, podcasts, YouTube. You can enroll in courses, go through coaching and mentorships, right? You always want to be learning and improving, because you never know too much, right? There's always things you can be improving so you can get to that next level, right? And really the biggest thing here is just, you want to be learning the systems that drive the results. So you want to just try and figure out what actually matters when it comes to the results, and then figure out how you can make actionable steps to help you achieve that. So that's number 2. And number 3 is just having a growth mindset, right? If you have a fixed mindset, if you think, what you're doing is the best approach, and that, you don't need to be learning anything else, then you're going to be very stagnant. You should always be trying to learn more things, question your beliefs, and trying to level up. So just like that, right? We just went through the 4 pillars, and I really hope you got some value out of that. Again, you can go back, take some notes. But at this point, you should have a lot of information you can start to apply to see great results. So that right there is the good news, right? However, the bad news is that there's just so much more that I could be sharing. There's so much more information I want to help you with. But in order for me to do that, it would probably take hours, right? I don't want to waste your time too much with this video. So where should you go from here, right? You just figured out what to do, but you don't necessarily know exactly how to do it, and especially in a way that works for you. So 2 choices: you can use this information, start to apply it, and just try to figure it out on your own. And the problem with this is it's very high risk. Sure, you will see results, but it might take you months, years, just wasting time and energy to get there. Or you might learn some wrong things in the process and get kind of derailed from the results you're going for. So sure, there is a possibility you get there, but it's just a little bit risky, right? And you might not get there in the best way as you could if we do the second choice, right? Which is do it together. This is a very low risk approach. If you start working with me and learn this transformation process for yourself, then you will save yourself a lot of time, a lot of error, and essentially a lot of money too, because you're not going to be spending it on a bunch of things that don't get you results. So 2 options from here. You could take this information, run with it, or you can say, you know what? Let's work together and let's see some great results. So if you decide, you want to do it together, right? What I want to show you real quick is actual results of people who took the leap of faith and invested in themselves. First message: I appreciate everything you've done for me. I've made mad progress and I've taken in so many valuable pieces of information. Can't thank you enough. Second one: for real, just wanted to shoot you a text to say thank you for changing my life, man. I'm so serious. We got to go grab a beer one of these days. You've opened my eyes to the best community in the world. Thank you so much. God bless. Third: thanks, man. Couldn't have done it if I never learned from you how to properly train. And the last one: feeling fantastic, man. Last school year, I don't think I went up in any weights, and it was so stagnant strength wise, but it feels like I'm making newbie gains again at this point. So absolute shout out to these guys. These guys have been crushing it. Just some more examples. Down 18 pounds since July. Cut is going too well. Second: I used to see the gym as a chore, but now it's actually one of the highlights of my day. Third: strength through the roof. Never been more excited to train. That's what we want. Fourth: this has been a game changer for my fitness, man. Even seeing my strength going up each week is super exciting. Before this program, I had a hard time staying consistent because I didn't really see visual proof of progress. Consistency is easy now. And then last one: this is the best approach to eating I've ever tried. Hitting the calorie deficit pretty consistently. Having a plan of what to eat and when to eat is huge because I don't have to worry about food anymore. Pretty refreshing, honestly. A couple more examples here. Dude, I can't speak enough about how much your program and knowledge you've given me has changed the way I go about training and my confidence levels. The amount of progress you've gotten me is truly tremendous, and I can't thank you enough. I recommended your training to a bunch of guys I know. Second one: I threw up that progress pic. The difference between May 1st and today is nuts. Third: hell yeah, dude. Also, I lost 7 pounds this week. I think we got to slow it down a bit. Fourth: hit the 30s for lateral raises and cannot believe it. Today was the first day I noticed a change, and I saw my triceps a lot more than I have in a long time, seeing more progress and feeling better about myself in general. So really the reason I show you this, right, is just to show you like this is actually capable of happening for yourself, right? You can actually get the results you want. You can live the life you want. You can have that confidence, take off your shirt or, wear whatever you want without feeling not good about yourself. And all it really takes is just one decision to invest in yourself, right? Start working with us. We'll tell you exactly what you need to be doing, get you on a structured plan, and you'll start to see life-changing results. So at this point, some of you are probably thinking, right, yeah, this sounds cool. It sounds awesome, but I'm just really busy. I don't know if I have time for an actual program, right? So really the thought process you want here is you can see great results with as little as 3 40-minute workouts per week, right? 3 workouts, 40 minutes long. There's 7 days in the week. I guarantee you can fit that in your schedule. And if you can't, one thing that I actually will recommend, I personally do this, is look at your calendar every Sunday and schedule in those workouts to your calendar, right? If you put them on your calendar, it's in the calendar, you're not going to miss them. So anybody can do, it doesn't matter how busy you are, you can achieve your best results. Second, what if you've never been to the gym, right? What if you want to get into it, but you've never been to the gym, you don't know what you're doing? And there have been actually a lot of guys in this situation. And the good part about this is we'll actually give you a solid plan that's very easy to learn. We'll give you all the warm-ups and everything to be doing. There's form videos for every exercise. So absolutely no problem if you've never been to the gym. We will help you out, make sure you're comfortable, and help you start seeing results. Third, what if you already have great experience, right? What if you're intermediate advanced lifter? Is something like this for you? The answer, as you've seen, is yes, right? We've had a lot of advanced guys come in who are lifting heavy weights, guys who are already pretty lean, and they just want to get to that next level. This is all you need to get to that next level. All right. So at this point, right, we're at the end of the video here. And really, you have a choice what you feel like doing. You can join all these clients who are crushing it and turn your goals into reality, finally get the result you want, or you can hop off and continue doing what you're doing, right? Scrolling Instagram, watching YouTube, trial and error, and just not really getting the results you want. So that's it for this video. If you decided from this, you do want to work with us, real quick, I'm going to share exactly what this program is, and hopefully you'll get a better sense of what to do from here. So this is the Level Up Transformation Program, guys. Essentially, this program, I built it to help you with all of these things we talked about and really give you more of a customized, hands-on approach. First things first, how this is going to look. I organized it by the pillar. So starting with training, right? What we're going to do is I'm going to help you build a custom program based on your goals, your schedule, your equipment, right? What you have access to, and your preferences. So, maybe you want to focus on certain muscle groups, right? We're going to build you your routine, and then we're going to upload that to an app on your phone where you can access your workouts every single day, and you'll know exactly how much weight, how much reps to be doing for your sets. And then you're also going to have form videos, really just having that full structure, that full game plan, so you know exactly what to be doing when you go to the gym. And every week, I'll actually be helping you improve, updating your workouts, helping you achieve that progressive overload. Nutrition wise, what we're going to do is it's really kind of just problem solving, right? I'm going to give you a calorie and macronutrient target every week. So, you know how much to be consuming. And then from there, I'm going to give you all of my meals, all of my, recipes, my grocery guides. And if you want it, we can build a meal plan so you know exactly what meals to be having and how to set up your day. So this can be as structured as you want. If you want a full-blown meal plan, we can absolutely do that. Or if you just want all the information, like how much to eat, what are some good meals, a grocery list and things like that, we can make that happen for sure. Accountability wise, what we're going to do is we're going to do weekly check-ins. So a couple questions you're going to go through, just kind of getting yourself to think about how the week went. We're going to track some data like your lifts. We're going to take progress pictures. We're going to track your weight, really just making sure that you're progressing each week, right? That's what it's all about. You're going to have calls as needed. So you're going to have access to my calendar. So whenever you want to book a call, a coaching call, we can do that for sure. And then lastly, you have the group. So all the guys on the Level Up Transformation Program, we have a community for. So this is super cool because everyone's just like-minded. Everyone has similar fitness goals and just great energy. People will share like meal ideas, PR videos, workout playlists. Recently, we've been doing a lot of monthly challenges, which has been really fun, a lot of competition. So for example, last month, what we did is the top guys in the group who were the most consistent with their routine that month, I sent them free protein bars and protein powder. So a lot of competition. Everybody was trying to compete for those prizes. As a result, people got just great results for that month because everybody was just dialed in. So it's a lot of fun. So that's that. And then last one, education wise, what I did for this is I just gave you all the information you need, put it all in the course, right? This is the Level Up Transformation course. I will teach you all you need to know about training, right? So, explaining how your program works, what are the strategies we're using, how can you apply this long term, right? Those are really the big things with the training. Then we'll get into nutrition. So, going over energy balance, calories, macros, what are the strategies we're using? How do you keep track of those, right? What are the best ways to support fat loss? So those are kind of the things with nutrition. And then obviously, grocery guides and recipes and meals, all of that you'll have access to. And then lastly, you're going to have my supplement recommendations and some mobility exercises, some mindset, like goal setting, and then some full day eating and trainings, which is kind of fun to see as well, to give yourself an idea of different ways you can approach certain things. But yeah, that's the transformation course. And anyone who joins will have full lifetime access to this program. So guys, that is it. Really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this. Like I said, if you're ready to take that next step, check out the program. What I'm going to ask you to do is there'll be a link here where you can book a call, right? So what I want you to do is book a call. We're going to talk about what your goals are, right? What are your struggles? Like, where are you at? What do you need to achieve with your fitness, right? Then from there, I'll tell you about the program. If I think you're a good fit and you think you're a good fit, let's get after it, see some results. But if not, even if it's not really the approach for you, I'm still going to give you some free value, some free ebooks, some resources, right? So it's going to be worth your time, regardless if you think this is 100% fit. So hopefully you found this helpful. Feel free to go back, take some notes. I look forward to hearing from you. And again, thank you for your time. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.